Okay, I'm back. I want to do sort of a part 2 from what I started a while ago. And I was talking about that there's something going on in the atmosphere. There's something going on in the kingdom, in the invisible realm that we're not seeing. We can't see in the natural, but what we are seeing is effects of it. God is like the wind. He said, you can't see where the wind, you can't see the wind. So how do we know if there's wind? It's because we see the effects of wind. We see the trees blow. We feel the cool breeze. So God is like that. And I think if we'll look around today, we're going to see some effects of something that's going on in the kingdom. But this is a small thing compared to what's already happened. And I think what's happening today is bringing us to the realization of some things that have needed to be dealt with for years. I think right now there's a cleansing in this wind. I think there is something that's blowing. He said there would be a time that everything that can be shaken would be shaken. Now, some people think that's natural earthquakes. Okay, I personally think it's what's happening right now. I think there's a shaking of things that really matter. Buildings are not what matters. This corrupt world that I talked about is not what matters. What matters is in the spirit. And so I think there's a shaking and shaking down. It's like the separation between the wheat and the chaff. And I'm gonna be honest. You know, there's another, it talks about the wheat and the tares, which we know wheat's the good and the tares is the bad. It's just weeds. But there's a difference in that separation than there is a separation of the wheat from the chaff, because chaff is not bad. Chaff is what's needed to hold the wheat up off the ground. It's the stalks. If you didn't have that, the wheat would just lay on the ground and rot. But because it's lifted up, it waves in the wind and it catches and it gets what it needs. It gets the sunlight it needs. And so, but there comes a time that we're going to take off what really matters and leave what really was temporal, the carnal, the corrupt, or that things that are just, it's not what's important, is getting divided so that we have the wheat. Okay, the wheat. It's like he said, every man's works would be tried by fire to see whether it be gold, silver, and precious stones, or wood, hay, and stubble. Well, wood, hay, and stubble aren't bad things. Wood, hay, and stubble burn up. They're temporal. There's a difference than burning some wood than it is burning some gold. Because what happens when you burn gold? It doesn't disintegrate. It just becomes more pure. The impurities in it raise to the top, and you scrape it off, and it becomes 10 karat, 24 karat. I mean, it keeps. It's the value of it is determined by how many times it's been in the fire and how much impurities is out of it. Is it a 10 karat gold, or is it 24 karat gold? It makes a big difference. And so there had to be a time for that gold to become more precious. I believe there is a purifying fire happening. Well, let me say it this way. It's a refining fire. I think any fire God sends is a refining fire. I don't think he's trying to destroy anything or anybody, except what he said, I'm trying to destroy what's destroying you. I'm purging out all things that offend and cause this pain. He's taking stuff out of your family, your life, your mind, your marriage, your church, our nation. Maybe through this fire, there's some things raising up that we can get rid of, become evident. Or maybe there's the blowing is going to blow off the chaff. The things that, it's like, a good wind will just clear out the debris. Those old broken limbs, all of a sudden, so you can be careful because they'll fall out. Wind causes things to fall out. It blows the leaves off your porch. So what can be a negative thing in one way can also be a positive thing. I think God is doing a positive thing right now in the kingdom. That he is allowing some things to happen, not to destroy us, not to punish anybody. Oh my goodness, can we get off of that already? Well, this is just the sin of man causing this. Well, it is in the beginning. Adam sinned, and Adam, here's what he did. He made the decision to have the knowledge of good and evil. And so to do that, evil had to come in the world, or he couldn't have known good and evil. So when it happened, these things came about. So yes, originally anything harmful in this world came from that sin. But do I believe today it's a sin of people today that's causing this? That God, we say God ain't causing this, but then we turn around and say it's the sin of people. So if we'll humble ourselves and pray and we turn from our wicked ways, then he's going to heal our land. In other words, God really is causing this. If you want him to stop, you better stop doing bad. And humble yourself, and then he's going to come and do that. I think we've taken that scripture out of context, not because it's not a powerful scripture, but you need to know who he's talking to and what he's talking about there if you're going to use an antidote for something that may not be the same problem. Because that's when he talked to Solomon. He said, if I send the pestilence, if I send the drought, if I send these things, then this is how it works. Because on that side, everything was physical. But on this side of the cross, Jesus done paid for those things. God is not sending pestilence anymore. He's not sending floods anymore. He's not sending droughts anymore. He doesn't cause people to rape children. He doesn't cause people to get cancer. He doesn't cause there to be a pandemic. He's not causing that. We better be careful what we're saying. We're saying one thing out of one side of our mouth and one thing out of the other side of our mouth. See, I think there's some things that need to be dealt with. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stop this video right now, but I've got a lot more to say.